There is a question that haunts modern engineering, a question that very few people in the industry have the courage to ask aloud. Are we innovating, or are we simply complicating? For the better part of a century, the Western automotive industry, led by the giants of Detroit and the masters of precision in Stuttgart, convinced us of a single, absolute truth. More is better. If 4 gears are good, then 6 must be better. If 6 are standard, then 8 is luxury. And then, in a fit of mechanical madness, we arrived at the era of 9 and 10-speed transmissions. Ford and General Motors shook hands and built mechanical monsters containing thousands of moving parts. Mercedes chased the same dream. They sold this to us as the pinnacle of technology. They called it refinement. But standing here today, in January 2026, looking back at the last decade, we can now see that it wasn't innovation. It was a cry for help. It was the last gasp of a dying technology, trying desperately to mask its own limitations. While the West was busy building cathedrals of planetary gears, China was doing something silent, radical, and frankly, humiliating for traditional engineers. They looked at the 10-speed gearbox and said, "This is useless." They didn't try to fix the gearbox. They deleted it. In this documentary, we are going to dissect the greatest mistake of the Western automotive industry. We will understand why your diesel lorry needs to shift gears 100 times during a city drive, while the new generation of Eastern pickups doesn't shift at all. We are going to dive deep into the physics of the DHT system and understand why simplicity, not complexity, is the true definition of sophistication. To understand why we reach the absurdity of 10 gears, we must first respect the tragic flaw of the internal combustion engine. The piston engine, whether it runs on diesel or petrol, has a terrible personality. It is a diva. It cannot run if it is stopped. It needs an idle speed. It explodes if it spins too fast. And, worst of all, its efficiency window, the sweet spot where it delivers power without drinking fuel like a sinking ship, is incredibly narrow. Usually, it is between 2,000 and 3,000 revolutions per minute. The entire history of the automotive gearbox is, essentially, the history of engineers trying to keep this diva happy. In the 1970s, we had 3 or 4 speeds. The engine screamed on the motorway and struggled on the hills. In the 1990s, 5 speeds became the standard. By the 2010s, environmental legislation in Brussels and Washington tightened the noose. The West panicked. To save every drop of fuel, they needed to keep the engine exactly in that efficiency sweet spot. 100% of the time, their solution was to add more gears, to slice the power delivery into thinner and thinner pieces. That is how the ZF9HP and the Ford 10R80 were born. The theory was beautiful. With 10 gears, the engine would always be at the perfect RPM, regardless of the vehicle's speed. But in practice, we created a drivability nightmare. Let's metaphorically open up a modern 10-speed automatic transmission. What you see inside is not just engineering, it is managed chaos. You have 4 sets of planetary gears. You have 6 clutch packs. You have a valve body that looks like a hydraulic labyrinth designed by an alien intelligence. There are hundreds of channels where oil must flow at the exact pressure, at the exact millisecond, to actuate solenoids that push metal forks. If one solenoid fails, a component the size of your thumb, your 60,000-pound pickup truck becomes a paperweight. And then, there is the driving experience. Anyone who owns a Ranger or a Mustang with a 10-speed box knows the phenomenon of gear hunting. You are driving at 50 miles per hour and you press the throttle slightly. The computer enters a state of panic. It thinks, he wants power. Should I drop to 7th? No, maybe 6th? Ah, he lifted off. Go back to 9th. Wait, There is a hill, drop to eighth. The vehicle spends more time deciding which gear to be in than it does actually accelerating. It is a sensation of constant indecision. It is lag. It is the mechanical delay between your desire and the machine's response. The West called this the peak of technology. China looked at this and saw it for what it really was: parasitic inefficiency. Every spinning gear creates friction. Every hydraulic pump steals horsepower from the engine. We were burning fuel just to spin the transmission that was supposed to save fuel. The irony is palpable. While Ford and Volkswagen were fighting over patents for gear ratios, BYD and Great Wall Motors looked at the fundamental physics. They adopted the first principle approach. What is the best way to deliver torque to the tarmac? Their answer was the DHT, the dedicated hybrid transmission. And the revolution here isn't what they added. It is what they removed. In a modern Chinese system, like the DMI 5.0 or the Hi4 platform which dominates the market in 2026, there is no torque converter. There are no brake bands. There are no 10 gears. At speeds below 45 or 50 miles per hour, the petrol engine is completely disconnected from the wheels. Full stop. This is difficult for a traditional mechanic to wrap their head around. How can the engine not turn the wheels? The combustion engine becomes a stationary power station. It spins a generator. That generator sends electrons, not mechanical force, to an electric motor, and the electric motor turns the wheels. Why is this a stroke of genius? Because an electric motor has maximum torque at 0 RPM. It doesn't need a first gear to move away from the traffic lights. It doesn't need a second gear to gain momentum. It is perfectly linear. They replaced mechanical complexity, gears that brake with electrical simplicity, wires that transmit energy. Here is where the technical magic happens. And this is exactly where the West missed the boat. Remember I said the combustion engine is a diva that only likes a specific RPM? In the 10-speed system, we tried to force the engine to work in every situation. Uphill, downhill, stop and go. In the Chinese system, because the engine isn't connected to the wheels in the city, the engineers could do something radical. They neutered the engine to make it perfect at only one thing. They use the Miller cycle. Without getting bogged down in the mathematics, essentially, they leave the intake valve open for longer, pushing some air back out before compression. In a normal car, this would make the engine feel weak and sluggish. But for a generator, it is incredibly efficient. The engine in a BYD or GWM works constantly in its thermal comfort zone, spinning smoothly to charge the battery, while you, the driver, feel the brutal, instant punch of the electric torque at the wheels. You have the efficiency of an industrial generator combined with the performance of a sports car. The 10-speed gearbox tried to simulate this feeling. The electric system actually achieved it. Now, the skeptics will say, but hybrid systems are terrible on the motorway. The electric motor loses efficiency at high speeds. That was true in 2015. In 2026, that is a myth. This is where Chinese engineering checkmated the old Toyota Prius system. They created the direct drive mode. Think of it as the single gear concept. When you stabilize the vehicle at 60 or 70 miles per hour on the motorway, the system understands that it is inefficient to convert petrol into electricity and then back into motion. That is a conversion loss. So, a single hydraulic clutch closes. The petrol engine connects directly to the differential. But, and here is the secret, it connects at a very long ratio, equivalent to a fixed 5th or 6th gear. Because at 70 miles per hour, the petrol engine is finally happy. It doesn't need 10 gears. It just needs one long gear to cruise. If you need to overtake, the electric motor wakes up instantly and provides the extra shove, without the engine needing to change gear. It is the best of both worlds. Electric in the city, mechanical on the motorway, without the mess of 10 gears in the middle. Let's talk about money, because that is what moves the logistics and transport market. The Achilles of me heel of modern Western pickups is long-term reliability. A 10-speed transmission is a ticking time bomb of maintenance. You have vacuum fluid changes, clutch plate wear, and iron filings clogging up solenoid valves. When a gearbox like that fails outside of warranty, you don't repair it, you replace it. And it costs the price of a small used car. Now, look at the DHT system. What are the wear parts? There are no bands, there are no shift forks banging against each other. The electric motor is magnetic. There is no physical contact, no friction except for the bearings. China didn't just lower the production cost by using fewer high-precision metal parts. They lowered the total cost of ownership. For a fleet manager, for a lorry driver, knowing that he will never again feel that jolt of a bad gear change is a financial relief. German complexity used to be a badge of honor. Today, it is a liability. We are living through a historic moment. It is the end of the mechanical Baroque. Do you know what the Baroque period was? It was an artistic style full of unnecessary details, elaborate curves, and visual complexity. The transmissions of 10 and 11 speeds were the Baroque of engineering. They were beautiful to look at on paper, but they were excessive. China brought us functional minimalism. In 2026, the question is no longer, how many gears does your car have? If the answer is anything other than 1 or 2, you are likely buying obsolete technology. Ford and General Motors are now scrambling, trying to simplify their platforms. But years of development were lost, polishing gears that should never have existed. The future is not about who has the most parts. It is about who does the most with the least. And, unfortunately for the mechanical purists, the silence and smoothness of electrons have won against the noise and vibration of gears. The gearbox didn't die because it failed. It died because it became irrelevant. Drive safe, and I will see you in the next one.